This conference will now be recorded.
Yes. So today we are going to start basic sessions on SQL. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about basic SQL. Right. As part of basic SQL, so yesterday we did get a chance to understand what is data, then what is database, okay, what is database, and what is DBMS, and what is RDBMS. Okay, so data is a raw facts and figures. It's a collection of raw facts and figure. Data is a collection of raw facts and figures. Okay, it can be numbers, it can be, alphanumerics, it can be anything. Okay, so it's a collection of raw facts and figures. Now when I say database, it is collection of data is called as your database. What do you mean by DBMS? Database management system. So managing the collective data in a proper way is called as your DBMS. So what is RDBMS? Relational database management system. Okay, so right now in the market, whatever you're able to see in the markets like Microsoft SQL Server, okay, Oracle, MySQL, Sybase, so many databases are there. So these are all the RDBMS packages. Okay, RDBMS packages. So when I'm talking about RDBMS packages, what are the concepts that we are going to cover in the database that we are going to see today? Okay, so as part of discussing database, so this is a basic concept. Also yesterday we have discussed about something about file system, what make the people to think and to come up with a concept called DBMS. So from after that, from DBMS, then they have come up with a concept called RDBMS, and we have seen the pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages of using file system. Okay, so the disadvantages, like we have more disadvantages when we are going with file system. So to overcome this kind of challenges, so we have come up with the concepts called DBMS. Again, since we have a storage limitations in the DBMS itself, so we have come up with a new concept called RDBMS. Okay, so that is a kind of background wherein we need to understand. Okay, right. What is database? See, for any software application, basically when I say software, how many things it will be there? You will be able to see front end, you will be able to see back end, and also reporting and ETL. That means extraction, transformation, and loading. So if you want to build a proper software, you need to have all these things in place. All these things in place. Otherwise, you cannot perform any kind of software. Now, front end means whatever you're able to see in terms of look and feel, that will be treated as your front end. You have Java, you have .NET, so all those are all front ends. And also you reportings also you can see. Okay, then what is back end? So whatever you're able to see, SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, Sybase, so these are all the backend tools. Okay, so backend tool. Without any backend tool or without any backend database, no software is going to be built. Okay, see, basically data is a kind of core place of a application. Application is just look and feel wise, you'll be able to see the application, but application definitely has to depends on the data to retrieve or to fetch onto the application screens. Okay, so just a small background for this. I mean, I think you all are aware of all these things. Now, as part of discussing about basic SQL, we need to understand something called as data sub languages. Data sub languages. So when I say data sub language, we have different sub languages are there. Okay, so one is we have something called DDL. DDL stands for data definition language. Okay, now second, DML. DML stands for data manipulation language. Okay, actually I thought of implementing this in a pictorial representation, but since we are already late of 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, so let us not waste our more time. Okay, so then we have something called DRL or DQL. What does it means? It is data retrieval or query language. Data retrieval or query language. So fourth one is TCL. TCL stands for transactional control language. Okay, so fifth one is DCL. So DCL stands for data control language. Okay, data control language. Okay, if you go to this, so when I see something like this, so this is going to be my data sub languages. Okay, so this is data sub languages. Now out of which, if you can categorize as, see, if you see the first one, it is going to be DDL. DDL. Okay, so then second one is going to be your DML. Then third one, it is DRL or DQL. Now fourth one, it is going to be TCL, transactional control language, and finally we have something called DCL. DCL. Okay, data control language. This is the basic flow architecture of what are the different sublanguages available in any kind of RDBMS packages. Okay, internally, if you want to see internally, DDL has again categorization. Okay, how many categorizations are there internally? If you see internally, DDL has one: create, alter, drop, rename, truncate. Okay, rename, truncate. Again, within the alter, you have again four types of subcategories. Okay, what are those? We will see. Okay, in alter, we have something called as add, modify, uh, drop, rename. Okay, so that means within the alter we have again 4 commands. Right, so this is about DDL, data definition language. Again, if you see in DML we have 3 commands. So first it is going to be insert, second is going to be update, third is going to be delete. This is as part of DML. As part of DML. Now what about DCL? DCL is nothing but whatever the select keyword that you're able to see in your select statement, that will be treated as your data query or retrieval language. That is a keyword, but that comes under data query or data retrieval language. Now fourth is TCL. In TCL again we have 2 things. So one is commit, second one is rollback. Commit and rollback. Right, this is as part of transactional control language. Okay, finally DCL. In DCL again we have 2 things called, one is grant, other one is revoke. Okay, so that's about these things. If you talk about this thing, so what is first one? DDL. So DDL stands for data definition language. DDL stands for data definition language. So then DML stands for data manipulation language. Then DRL or DQL stands for data retrieval or query language. Then we have TCL. TCL stands for transaction control language. Finally, DCL stands for data control language. So this is how your data sub languages are there. Okay, so we will discuss about in detail about what is what. Okay, so till now guys, are you clear? Any questions till now? Suresh,
Yes, sir.
Surya? Okay, fine. Now we will go in detail what exactly DDL will try to do, like what is the purpose of using DDL, when do we generally go for DDL, or when do we generally go for DML, when do we go for TCL, DCL, everything we are going to see with some examples, and how to implement the commands, what are the commands it is going to be, and what is going to be the syntax, everything we are going to see in today and tomorrow sessions. Okay, if time permits I'll try to complete today. I don't think I'm able to complete in today's session, but again it requires some time. Okay, so let us discuss about DDL. So DDL stands for data definition language. So when I say data definition language, all the structure oriented changes is going to be captured under DDL. Okay, all structure oriented changes. Okay, so if you talk about this, so if you talk about this, see, if you see all structure oriented changes. All structure oriented changes is going to be captured under DDL. So DDL stands for data definition language. DDL stands for data definition language, right? So DDL stands for data definition language. All structure oriented changes are going to be implemented under DDL. So when I say structure oriented changes, so it can be creating a new table, it can be altering an existing table, it can be dropping an existing table, it can be renaming an existing table, and it can be a truncate of an existing table. Again, within the truncate, within the DDL statement, within the alter, you will be able to see drop here, drop here. Also, you will be able to see rename here. You will be able to see the same rename here. Why do we need to place two different same operations in multiple places? So I'm able to see rename under drop. Also, I'm able to see drop under alter. Okay. So what is the difference? So we are going to discuss. Right. So first we'll come back to the create scripts. What is the purpose of using that? So before that, let me open my SQL Server. Just trying to open SQL Server. Okay, I'm just trying to see. I will try to take the same tables which I have implemented for other things. Okay, so I'm trying to open SQL Server through SSMS. SSMS is a SQL Server management tool to connect your SQL Server database. Under SQL Server database, we have a sample database called AdventureWorks. Okay, so this is a sample database which has been created by Microsoft for practicing purpose. Okay, see, you are able to see list of tables. Click on new query. So new query is a place, it is actually going to be act as a SQL worksheet where you can practice your queries and where you can execute your SQL commands and your SQL coding part. Okay, now how to do that? So first let us understand the create script. How to write a create script? Simple, create table. What is a table name? Suppose I want to give a table name as emp underscore emp underscore say 10 a.m. batch, right? Okay, emp underscore 10 a.m. open and close parenthesis semicolon. Semicolon will be treated as a end of your statement. Semicolon gives it is a end of the command or statement. What about two hyphens? Two hyphens is something like, it is a single line comment. It is acts as a single line comment. Okay, suppose you are working in a project, say you are working on a say 500 lines of project in a company. Okay, so wherein you need to comment some part of code for time being. The purpose of commenting that is for that purpose, for that particular time, you're not going to use or utilize that particular line of code for your execution of the project, but that may requires in future. So that is the reason that you are going to keep the same code in the packages. So to do that, two hyphens, hyphen stands for single line comments. Two hyphen stands for, it is going to be a single line comment. What about a multi-line comment? See, multi-line comment is forward slash asterisk. See, the moment I have put forward slash asterisk, whatever I'm able to say, see in the below, everything is going to be commented. See how to implement multi-line code. So forward slash asterisk, then asterisk forward slash. Okay, so this is a multi-line code. Asterisk forward slash. What is the purpose of using comments? The purpose of using comments is in real-time projects. Okay, whenever we are working with any code, suppose I have been assigned to a project and I'm working for a project, I'm writing some stored procedures and I'm creating some kind of a table or object. So it is always better to give some kind of description for that particular object. Okay, see, you are not only the one who is going to give a support for the same project for say 10 years or 20 years, right? Maybe you may be work for that project for say 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. After that, in place of you, somebody is going to come into the same place. Then whatever the comment that you provide, if you see that comments in the below coding part, so he'll be able to understand. Suppose if I'm giving some comment like, so this is a table to capture employee related data. Done. So that means by looking at this comment, anybody can easily understand the purpose of creating this table and the kind of data that we have been stored under this particular table. Okay, so that is the use of providing the comments. How can you provide the comments? You can either go for single line comment. If you have more lines to be commented, say more than one line, say 10 lines I want to comment within the project, you can comment, but it is not is going to be implemented with single line. It is going to be implemented with multi-line comment. What is multi-line comment? Forward slash asterisk forward slash. So between forward slash asterisk forward slash, whatever you are going to store, all the code is going to be commented. Even if you find 100 lines of code or 5,000 lines of code, if you want to comment, you can use and you can go for multi-line comment. Guys, till this point, any questions, any doubts? Surya, Nani, Satish, Suresh?
So can you write and show the multi-line
Okay,
units to me?
suppose
Yeah.
yeah, I will see, suppose I have something like select star from dim customer table. Okay, so dim customer table. Okay, what I'll try to do, I will try to see gender wise. Say select gender comma sum of sales amount, sum of yearly income from this table. Okay, from this table group by gender. Okay, I'm just trying to group by gender. Sorry, spelling, it is G. So group by gender, say order by gender. Semicolon means end of the statement. Okay, so if you execute this, you'll be able to see the result. But this is not a single line code. You have implemented 4 lines of code. Okay, in this also, suppose if you want to see where yearly, don't worry about what I'm actually writing. what is the meaning of it, everything we are going to cover. Okay, don't worry about what is a from class, what is a where class, group by class, order by class, everything we are going to discuss. Okay, please be patient for at least 2 to 3 days to understand all these things. Okay, so yearly income is not null. So that means I want to perform only the yearly income values who is none. So this is a multi-line. This is a multi-line comment. So see, if you see this, I'm writing this query to understand gender-wise yearly income. So gender-wise yearly income. I want to design a report based on this. So who is getting more yearly income? Who is paid more, whether male or female? So that kind of analysis that I want. So in that particular situations, I have written some kind of query. So in this query, when I say yearly income is not null, means it should try to calculate all people who are all getting yearly income. Okay, so that means, okay, if you provide this condition or if you don't provide, actually it is giving the same result. Okay, if you see, if you provide this condition, it is giving the same result. Suppose I don't want this condition to be present, because if I provide this condition or if I'm not providing this condition, I'm getting the same result. So I don't want to keep unnecessary over extra burden code in my SQL or in my package. What you have to do, you have to go with the comment. Since it is a single line comment, you are going with the double hash and you can execute something like this. So this is about single line comment. Suppose if I go for multi-line comment, okay, so forward slash hashtag, and you have to provide till what line or till what word you need to comment the code. So go there and put forward slash and this. See, it will try to comment at this point, till this point only. Okay, if you execute, it will work. But this is also doing a kind of single line comment. So suppose if you want to comment to 2 lines, so you are going to end your hashtag and forward slash at here. See, if you try to see, these 2 lines got disabled, the code got disabled. Got it, Satish?
Sir.
Like that in the code, it will be same for even if it is a 500 lines of code or 100 lines of code. Clear? Okay, let us come back to the questions. Okay, so how to create a table? How to create a table? So syntax for creating the table is create a table name. Okay, suppose for my requirement, first of all, try to see here, do you have any table something like this, emp underscore 10 am? No, not at all. Okay, so I will try to create here. Okay, so emp table, so I want emp number column, say ename column, then say location column, right? Here, before going for directly any kind of syntax, first we need to discuss about something called data types. We need to discuss about data types. What do you mean by data type? Okay, so data type is nothing but it will try to identify what kind of data that you're expecting into the table. Suppose into the table, into that particular column. So if you see here, while creating the table, I have mentioned 3 columns: employee number, employee name, location. Okay, so for employee number, I have given some data type. So this is called int, is kind of a data type. So how many types of data types are there? See, frankly speaking, we have so many data types, but see, this session is not a DB kind of session. This session is a Power BI and kind of a Power BI complete reporting session. Okay, it is not feasible this time to complete all the topics in DB. Okay, but I will try to cover complete project oriented concepts. See, I will show you something. See, regularly, what are the data types that we are going to use is only 3 to 4 data types. So one is integer data type. So other one is varchar data type. Then we have date data type. We are going to use mostly these 3 data types only. Okay. So let us concentrate and focus on these 3 data types only. Okay, so what is integer? Int means int, so that means it will try to support all integer or numeric values. What is varchar? It is a data type which is going to support for character related values, or varchar. So when I say character, it can be alphabetics and also numbers. Okay, so what about date data type? So if you have something like, you want to support some date format, so we are going to use date data type. These 3 things are we are going to use. Okay, to talk about the data type, if you want me to talk about the data types, so see, if you see the SQL Server data types, we have these many number of data types are there. Okay, but this time is not going to be sufficient to discuss all these things. Point one. Point two, we are not at all going to use all this kind of, see, whatever you're able to see, your nchar, ntext, nvarchar, float, real. So I mean, these are all the data types we are not at all going to use. 90% we are not at all going to use 90%. Okay, only we are going to concentrate mostly on the regular currently used data types called integer, numeric, okay, date. These 3 are very important. To talk about the data types, we have so many things, but let us not confuse with these things. Okay, right. Guys, till this point, do you have any questions? Satish, Suresh, Surya?
Sir, so
Yes,
integer
sir.
or specifically for the numeric and voucher is
Yes.
for character related and also numeric, you said. So can we use voucher for everything instead of?
See, varchar is not, see, varchar will support both. Okay, if you see, varchar is supporting both. It is a alphanumeric. Suppose for an example, if you see any bank account numbers, or simply take IFSC codes, how it will be? It is a ICIC 0000244. So this is a IFSC code value of my bank. This is the IFSC code. So that means at the time of creation of this particular table, so for this particular IFSC code column, I have been given a data type as varchar. So when I give a data type as varchar, so that this kind of format, so what kind of format it is? It is a format of alphanumeric format. If I'm expecting only numbers in my column, straight away I'll go for integer. But once you give integer data type and you're passing values as alphanumeric, definitely it is going to be throw error messages. So that's why better we generally go for varchar data type for alphanumeric values. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Sir,
Now coming.
actually, we want to do the type of the SQL programming. There's a finally validation. No?
Final validation. Yeah, queries. Yeah.
Basically, the table adventure venture works will be added on the SQL.
See, adventure works is a database. Okay.
Yeah,
Within the database, you will have so many tables. See, whatever the table that I'm going to create, it is going to be stored under adventure works, because I'm doing all my development work for this particular. See, I'll show you. See,
in the real time, we
whatever.
want to be do the tabulation, sir.
Yeah, it requires you need to do. I mean, see,
Yeah,
yes, obviously it will require. See, requirements can be anything. In some situations you can directly utilizing the existing requirement. There will be
Yeah,
some
already
situations
this is a
where,
table we have, then we can
yeah,
add it.
table will be there, we are going to use that particular table. But there will be certain scenarios wherein for a logic implementation purpose, you yourself has to create a small table to implement the logic. That time you have to write the code, no other go.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah, so that's why I'm, you see, if you see this, I'm writing this code. When I execute this code, this table is going to be stored under which database? It is going to stored under AdventureWorks database.
adventure works.
Because
Yeah,
right now, see, right now I have been selected this as a AdventureWorks, so that is the reason it is going to be stored. Otherwise, if I say suppose master database and I'm executing this, it is going to be stored under master database.
master.
Okay, while
Okay,
practicing, you have to make sure that which database to which database you have been connected, and you're working and you're executing the code. You need to make sure that, okay, suppose you have created the table in master database, and next time you're
okay,
trying to open the same table in AdventureWorks database, that time definitely it will say that it is a kind of
error.
invalid table name. So
Invalid.
that means the table itself is not been created, so you have to make sure this kind of basic operations. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's
So
about
actually,
that.
my doubt
So
is that already adventure works already is having the data. So after that, real time going to real time, you don't have the already stuffed database, sir.
yeah, Satish, to answer your question, in real time you will not found AdventureWorks 100%
Yeah,
real time project. Why?
yeah.
Because already in the project they'll be having lot of their, for each project there is a separate database for the projects. So obviously within
Okay.
the database their own tables will be there, wherein you're going to directly utilize that table and you will work. But
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
what about right now? Right now you're in the training environment, so you
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
some platform to, practice. You need some data to
Okay.
practice. You need some tables to practice. So that is
Yes, sir.
called as your AdventureWorks database.
Adventure. Okay, sir. I got
Okay.
it. I got it.
And see,
Thank you, sir.
why I'm spending this much of time is this creation also, you should be aware of that. Okay, I'm,
Definitely.
see, in my course I'm going to give you the complete basic knowledge on SQL. See, people who are attended, see, all my students are pretty much confident on even SQL as well in the interviews. Okay, so
Okay.
I will prepare them in such a way, no matter it may takes some more days to extend, I don't mind anything, but because I want to give my product as a quality product. Okay,
Okay.
I don't want to give a something like, just skip, I mean keep on explaining everything and I will complete everything, I'll take my money, I'll go back. So that is not going to be
Okay.
my model. Okay, my product is going to be a quality product in terms of DB, in terms of BI. For that, if I may need to extend for some more days, I don't have any problem. I can postpone the next batches for another 1 week or 10 days, I don't have any problem. But I need a quality product. Okay, so actually this is really helpful for you in future also. You will not understand this whatever I'm going to tell you all these things right now, but when you go and when you actually started implementing your project in the real time, so then you will come to know all this kind of stuff, and how important it is. That time you will get to know. Okay, right, come back to our session. So as I told you, we have different data type. What is a data type? So data type is something, for a column we are providing a data type, either int or char, varchar or date or some other data type. What is that something? See here, whatever the code that we are writing, why we are writing a code something like this? Why can't I write something in my, like in my way, or whatever the style I want, I can write my code, right? But why I'm following all these things? You have to follow these things. Why? Because when I execute this query, when I execute this code, this will go and hits your SQL server database, and it will try to create the table in the SQL server database. So internally what it is happening, so we have to write a code in such a way that your SQL server database has to understand. How the SQL server will understand? Because at the time of creation of the database, okay, they have given some kind of keywords. See, If you see this code, some letters are highlighting in blue color, some letters are in, see, EMP number, it's in a black. See, create, it's in a blue. So that means whatever the highlighting colors are there, so that will be treated as a keywords. So simple example, suppose if you are the scientist, you have prepared a robo. So whatever the instruction that you provide, obviously robo will try to provide that instructions, and whatever the instruction that you have been set up inside the robo, only that set of instructions it will try to follow. If you try to give another kind of set of kind of logic, so then that will not work. Like that, while creating the database of SQL Server, we have utilized the concept of RDBMS, and we have designed some kind of, they have designed some kind of keywords. Who will understand this keyword? This keywords is going to be understandable by SQL Server. So we have to write our code in such a way that SQL Server has to understand. See, right now in the projects, like we have two different regions, Japan and India. So I am working from India. Some other one of my colleague is working from Japan, native person. So if he don't know English, I don't know English. So do we have any kind of flexibility of communicating to each other? No. So we have a common channel called English. So like that, we have to write our code, each and every code, even single line of code in such a way that your server has to understand. How server will understand? When you execute this query, this will go and hits your SQL server, and it will try to read the each and every line of code. So at the time of creation of the database, they have given some set of keywords. Okay, when I say yes, you have to act like this. When I say no, you don't need to perform. So this is a kind of set of instructions I'm giving to you. So like that, at the time of creation of the database, see, they have given a set of commands saying that create means the moment, see, when I execute this will go and hits SQL server, and it will try to read one by one, line by line. So code by code it will go. So when it sees create keyword, so server will understand that, okay, I have to create a object. So what I have to create? So again, table is a keyword. Okay, I have to create a table. So what is going to be the table name? What are going to be the column names? What is the column data type that I'm expecting? Okay, for column name you have given, I mean for a column name, definitely server will see, server doesn't, or your DB server or DB doesn't have any special intelligence. Server will never do any kind of mistakes, 100%. It is something a person, a human being will do the mistakes. Okay, so like that, when server sees a column name, definitely server will expect what kind of data that you're expecting for this particular column, what kind of data that you're going to insert into employee number column. So by looking at the column name itself, I can say that yes, I'm expecting number data type. So I'll go for integer. And remember guys, one column to another column differentiation is, I'm going to differentiate with comma. First column space data type comma, second column space data type, and you can also give the size of that particular data type. Okay, so then comma, then third column space data type. I haven't provided any comma because wherever if you don't provide a comma, then server will understand that that is going to be the last column of that particular table. So when server sees close parenthesis and semicolon, it will treat till this point and it will try to execute, and it will try to create. Your table is created now. So let me just try to refresh this. Now expand this. Whatever the table that you have created, it is going to be stored under tables of that particular database. Okay, so if you come down, so emp underscore 7 p.m, right? A B C D E. Yes, if you see, so whatever the table that you have created, it is going to be stored here. Clear guys?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's about how to create the table. Okay, suppose I want to understand, okay, since we are running out of time, I need to catch up other meetings. Okay, we'll hold till this point. We'll continue tomorrow. Till this point, do you have any questions, guys?
Sir,
Any questions?
could you
Yes,
please tell the reason, like why we are using multi-line and single line?
Okay, right. I'm trying to create one more table, but this time my table name is underscore some. I can give anything, but I can say some, say call one, say int, comma, call means call to. I can give some, say mobile number, say integer, say department number integer, comma. So if I execute, so suppose I have a code something like this. Okay, I feel that these two columns are unwanted columns. This is not at all important. Client is not accepting that, but still the code is in the code, that lines of code is there. So what you have to do, you have to comment this. You have two ways. You can directly implement single line comment for one column, single line comment for one column. Yes, perfectly all right, but it is two columns, fine. But if it is 10 columns, you have to implement the same for 10 columns. Instead of doing that, what I will try to do, I will put forward slash hashtag, then I will put forward slash hashtag. Till till what word I have to comment, I'm going to put everything in under this. Okay, see, I'm going to create this particular table. See, I have created this table. I want to see whether this table are created or not. So I'm going to write a statement called select help of emp underscore. We will discuss tomorrow on what is help everything, but for now I'm just trying to show you. See, you have first table got created with the 3 columns. Like that same I want to verify for second table which I have created. EMP second table I have created. Can you tell me how many columns second table is going to be quickly?
Four
Suresh?
columns.
Perfect. So that means whatever the commented columns, that is not going to be present. See, you have commented mobile and column 1 data, so this is not present in this particular table. So this is because of your multi-line comments. So wherever you feel the code is not needed, you are going to put multi-line comment. Clear, Satish, Surya?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay guys, so that's all for today. If you have any questions, please let me know.